Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
With the release of Showtime's new comedy series Who is America, in which Sacha Baron Cohen returns to his shtick of portraying outlandish characters to interact with and unmask the real world, or contemporary America in this case, one question has been on everybody's mind. How the fuck does anyone still fall for Sacha Baron Cohen? First things first, a bit of obligatory background. I've compared Cohen's work to the pseudo-mockumentary series Nirvana the Band The Show, where some bits of the material are indeed scripted, but much of the comedy truly comes from the interactions between the characters and the real people, who don't truly know the nature of what's being filmed, if they even initially know they're being filmed at all. This can allow us to see the real faces of real human beings, some of whom may even be in positions of power right now, but sometimes reality will even affect the fiction. Some random real-life occurrence may just determine where the actually scripted story about, say, a funny-sounding oddball from Kazakhstan will go next.
I'm lying there kissing this guy, and meanwhile the metal chairs start landing. So I think if I lie on my back, I can actually just dodge the chairs.
And
Anyway.
the Golden Globe goes to Sacha Baron Cohen.
This movie was a life-changing experience. I saw some amazing, beautiful, invigorating parts of America, but I saw some dark parts of America, an ugly side of America, a side of America that rarely sees the light of day. I refer, of course, to the anus and testicles of my co-star, Ken Division.
This is what made Sacha Baron Cohen a household name, with films like Borat and the far less appreciated Bruno, even if he was already fairly well known due to The Ali G Show.
Ice cream.
Okay.
Yes, we laugh at his various funny accents and admire the outstanding way in which he uses body language, voice work and facial expressions to create completely unique characters, even when not that much makeup is involved.
I have no idea.
But what makes his work masterful and remembered is how he uses his fiction to expose the ugly sides of reality. How he uses these characters that we may laugh at to get horrible people to say and do horrible things. Of course, this is what made Cohen a star. Many are confused how his latest show, released at a time where most people know who he is and what he's famous for, managed yet again to dupe people. I have a couple responses to that. First of all, the disguises are still singularly convincing. The costuming as well as the distinct ways in which Cohen performs them all. I mean, even I could probably not tell he's under there if I met, say, Dr. Nera in the street. I won't even bother trying to say the last name there. Second of all, some interviewees have come forth claiming that they knew the interviews were gonna make them look bad. You know, by taking statements like children are effective soldiers because they haven't developed a sense of shame yet out of context, and that they were thus in on it on some level. I'm sure they meant every word of that. This will affirm to some critics that much of Who is America is in fact staged, but note that other interviewees have publicly complained about indeed getting quote-unquote fooled. Like poor Jason Spencer, the Georgia state representative who believed he was simply being taught self-defense techniques against Muslim terrorists, only to find out he had been misled. I would like to point out that the thing he was reportedly convinced was a legitimate self-defense technique was taking off his pants, backing up towards the terrorist, and touching them with his ass to make them feel gay.
USA!
Now, despite people saying they caught the joke mid-interview and despite people like Jason Spencer existing, viewers are still shocked that so many people seem too stupid to catch on. Can they really be this clueless about Cohen? Yes, they can. And this brings me to my third response, which is Sacha Baron Cohen has mastered the stereotype. Sure enough, Cohen does play stereotypes. He does at times embody things he wishes to mock, though his characters are oftentimes deeper than that and again convincingly portrayed, but that's not the only way in which he's believable to the point of tricking folk. Slightly less astute viewers have fallen in love with works like Borat and Bruno because they simply like laughing at goofy foreigners and flamboyant gays. Possibly, they're having a good time because they believe the film is reaffirming the view they have of certain people and certain groups, which is also why individuals we see in the movie become comfortable saying the things they do. This, I assume we know.
Really, you're watching the gay conversion therapy scene and you're thinking this movie makes fun of gay people and not makes fun of people that make fun of gay people?
But it ties back to Cohen's new show, and what it truly says about the current American climate, its people, and its divide. Liberal journalist Ted Koppel agrees to sit down with a desperately uneducated right-wing conspiracy nut, and might want to assume that he agrees to this because this is who he sees when he looks at his opposition. Does the same thing ring true for Chip Limehouse and his perception of those who are supposedly like Nira? What? No, there's no character here, there's nothing fishy going on in this here interview. I mean, this guy is just everything that I hate. His existence proves how right I am about being on my side and not the other one. And while I'm feeling validated, let me tell you about some of the other things I unironically believe. Sure, characters like Iran Morad and Gio Minaldo seemingly exist more to humor certain types of idiot, but even so, on some level, all these people are still being tricked because Sacha Baron Cohen is showing them what they want to see. And I'm eager to see who feels comfortable enough to show us their real face next week. That's just one man's opinion though. It's also true that some people are just insanely easy to fool. Hey Jason, attack me with your ass, it works. No homo.